Welcome back to another episode of the Field of 68's off-season grades. My name is Rob Dauster. I have John Martin with me, and we are going to be talking today about Texas A&M and Buzz Williams, who somehow came within like an overtime period of finding a way to knock off Houston and get to the Sweet 16 last season with a team that was basically, I hope Wade Taylor goes for 40 tonight. So they brought Wade Taylor back, and they also brought back 7 of their top 8 scorers, which kind of to me seems like they're going to have another one of these years where it's like, well, I hope Wade Taylor scores 40 tonight. What do you make of Buzz Williams and Texas A&M and this roster that he has put together this season?
Yeah, Anderson Garcia hit like an accident, right? Like that was the accidental shot. It was not supposed to be for him. It's because every shot is for Wade, you know. So it's like, what are you doing? That was supposed to be for Wade, but no. I
Hey, do you think
Texas.
Wade Taylor was pissed after that? Do you think he was like, I was supposed to make that shot? That was supposed to be me. I was supposed to be on
I
the
don't know.
highlight.
It's a good
I'm trying
question.
to go viral.
Exactly. Well, what business are you have over here making this shot, taking this one? No, I mean I think the returning piece is crucial. There Texas A&M was really freaking good when it came to the offensive rebounding, right, and second chance scoring. And that's going to be the case again this year. Would you like it to be a little bit more efficient? Yes, but that's just not the experience you're going to have with Wade Taylor. You got to ride the wave there, and I saw it when that game was in Memphis. He had moments where he was shooting his team right back into it, and he had moments when he was shooting his team right back out of it. I do think they'll miss Boots. I think they're going to miss Boots a lot, because he did a lot of the small things in leading that team. But I will say a guy like Manny Obaseki coming back, I think he could take a real step for them next year. So look, they're going to be a factor in the SEC. I don't know exactly where they land, but I think A&M will be right back in the mix for a tournament and maybe to make a second weekend appearance.
Yeah, they bring back 7 of their seven of their top 8 scorers. It's hard for me to say, including Henry Coleman, Solomon Washington, Jace Carter, Anderson Garcia, and Hayden Hefner. But Manny Obaseki, to me, is the big one. Over the last 7 games, last or 8 games in March, Obaseki averaged 16 points on 47% shooting. To me, he's the X factor. Like, you need him to take a step forward. And yes, it would help if a guy like a CJ Wilcher from Nebraska ends up being the dude that can make, 3, 4, 5 threes in a game. If Zurich Phelps from SMU ends up being what he was 2 years ago as opposed to last season, right? They brought in Pharrell Payne from Minnesota, who should be able to help inside and give them a bigger presence in the paint. But you can't just be a team that relies on like a low efficiency, high volume score and goes and gets 43% of your offensive rebounds and be a team that is more than like, yeah, they're kind of in that top 25 range. Yeah, they're going to make the tournament. And yeah, they got a chance to win a game when they get in the tournament. Like if that's all you want, you probably got enough to be able to do that.
Exactly. And look, we know what we're going to get by and large from them once they start SEC play. They're going to have stupid losses like they lost to LSU by 15 last year. Then they beat Tennessee by a million. I do think you're going to see it's going to be a high variance team because it's like you take on the personality of your best player or at
Yeah.
least your most featured player,
And he's the
right?
definition of high variance. There is no more high variance dude in
Right,
America than Wade Taylor.
right,
He had games last year where he would go like 2 for 12 in the first half and then score 40 in the second half. Like he
exactly,
is you
exactly.
don't get more high variance than Wade Taylor.
And so, look, that's what Buzz signed up for, and that's what Texas A&M is in for this year. But when it's good, it's really freaking good, and it makes it fun, right? Because I genuinely believe that it's enough, in my view, it's enough to make an Elite Eight run, right? It can be if it's rolling, but it's also enough like they were very much in danger of not making the field last year. We know that. I mean, they lose 5 in a row there in February before they lost 5 in a row and they won 5 in a row right
On
after that.
March 1st, John, on March 1st, they were 15 and 13 and a very nice 6 and 9 in the SEC.
That's right. See? And then what do? They reel off 5 in a row, including, win against top 10 ranked Kentucky. So, that's going to be the experience. I mean, I don't think it materially changes. Do you? I mean, I think that's probably what you can expect.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM Sportsbook. We're going to be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners, the viewers of the Field of 68 throughout the year. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, you can use bonus code FIELD, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. The best part, all you need to do is deposit and bet $10 of your own hard-earned money to be eligible. Here's how you make it work. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using that bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure that you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. BetMGM is going to have some fun offers available throughout the NBA playoffs. Bet insurance tokens, odds boost, and what I love, a nice parlay boost or two from time to time, as well as a ridiculous array of player prop bets for any sport that you could possibly imagine betting on. BetMGM is and always will be the king of the prop bet. So go download the BetMGM app, use the bonus code FIELD, and sign up today. And while I've got you, a quick request. The best way to support the Field of 68 content that you get for free is to engage with us. Rate and review the podcast. Like and share the YouTube videos. Tell your friends about us. It all helps in a world where the algorithm is king. And now, back to the show. No, I mean they're basically just running it back and
Right.
hoping that Manny Obaseki can make up for what Boots Radford loses. And they're bringing like I will give him credit in one spot because look, they could not shoot, dude. They finished 342nd nationally in 3-point shooting.
Yep.
They shot below 30% from three for the entire season. And he went out and he did get CJ Wilcher as a guy that in theory can be able to make some shots. And Zurich Phelps in theory is a guy that should be able to make some shots. He shot um, he shot better than 30% from three 2 years ago.
There you
Last year,
go.
he was at 21%, but he is a guy that does shoot. He shot more than 5 threes per game. So at least he fits in perfectly. He's going to get him up and
That's
he's going
right.
to miss him. He's like, oh, you know
That's
what?
right.
Honestly, if we're talking about this in real terms, right? Zurich Phelps is going to come in, he's going to miss a whole bunch of shots, and that's going to let Henry Coleman go in there and get all these offensive rebounds, and they're going to get layups out of it. It's just brilliant coaching. Well, everybody else is over here is like, we want guys that make threes. Buzz Williams is like, nah, fam. We're going to
No,
miss
that's right.
threes. Watch
Yeah.
this. See what
It's
we
high
do.
percentage offense right there, right? You know, the misses lead to high percentage offense. It's just he's on another level, man. He's a step ahead.
All right, let's get into the expectations for this group. Where do you rate them in the kind of SEC hierarchy? I think we both agree Alabama is the favorite to win the SEC this year, right? And
Yep.
then we talked about this earlier, but you have um, you have your Arkansas Razorbacks, you have the Auburn Tigers, you have Kentucky, you have Tennessee, you have Ole Miss, you have Mississippi State, who I'm high on, you have Florida, who I'm high on. There's about 7 teams that are kind of in that mix for the let's call it the top 4 in the SEC.
Yep.
Where do you see Texas A&M kind of shaking out there? Because if you look at the preseason top 25s, they're kind of all over the place. Some people got them pushing for the top 10. Others got them like down 24, 25th, unranked.
Exactly. Yeah, like, you know, if you just sort of break down the SEC a year ago, you know, I think you're going to see some regression there from South Carolina. I think you're going to see some regression from Kentucky. And then you're going to see programs, you know, like Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. You know, I think they're going to be vying to take those spots. And A&M is sort of in that group for me. I think if they finished honestly, they finished where they finished a year ago, which I think was what, 7th. That would be
Mhm.
a good year. I don't think they will though. I don't think they'll finish that because I think I would probably have them behind Arkansas. I would probably have them behind Ole Miss. I can make a case that they're ahead of Mississippi State, but I think they're behind at least 2 of the 3 there. So if you finish 7th in the SEC, I think you should be really happy with that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it too. I think that they're towards the bottom end of that range. I tend to be a little bit more pessimistic on them than other people do. And I give them, well, we could do the offseason grades now. I give them a B minus, which
Okay.
feels very weird because you're bringing back an All American caliber player in Wade Taylor, and you're also bringing back 7 of your top 8 scorers in an era where continuity is something that should be valued incredibly highly. But it's also something where I did not think that they were really all that good last year, and you're really just kind of running it back with the same
Right.
roster build that you
Exactly.
had before.
Yeah.
And what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing
That's
over
exactly
and
what I was
over
thinking of.
again
Yeah.
and not succeeding. So, if
And Boots was not the issue, right? It's not like, oh, we got, it's not
no,
addition by subtraction here.
no, and so my question is, what does what does Buzz Williams constitute as a successful season for this group? And if it is getting to the tournament, finishing in the top half of the SEC, and having a shot to win a game, and maybe getting a puncher's chance at making it to the Sweet 16, like if that is a successful season at Texas A&M, which like honestly it might be, then running it back is fine.
Yep.
Um, but if you're trying to be able to solve some of the problems that you had last year, like if CJ Wilcher is the only guy that can make shots that you're bringing in, that
Yep.
probably ain't going to get it done when you shot under 30% from three this past season. So I don't know.
Yep.
I'm at a B minus because I get what he's trying to do and understand him
Yep.
running it back, but I also like, let's put it like this: Texas A&M was one of my least favorite teams to watch play this past season.
No question. It was painful at times. There's no doubt about it. But it could also be beautiful. It just depends on the kind of night that Wade is having. But that's your barometer, and so that's the kind of experience you sign up for. It could be worse. I mean, they could have gotten pillaged and lost everything and had to flip the roster, which would be, I think, less desirable. And that happens. That does happen around college basketball. So it could be worse. I don't think it's like they're not. I don't get how you can rate them higher than a year ago though, because they lost Boots that did so much for them. And they don't. And yes, I think you can price in a jump from Manny Obaseki because I saw it. You could see it. He's a guy that teammates feed off of, and he was really playing well at the end of the year, and even against Houston in that tournament game. But you're sort of projecting that. You don't have it. You're projecting that. And so when you lose something that's proven versus a projection, I can't rate you higher. So I'm with you. I'm going to go exactly a B minus because you retain good players, but you don't really add to it, and you're banking on things that haven't happened yet. So that's the peril.
Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is the story of John Martin's life. He is copying somebody else's work. Fake it till you make it, my friends. That's how you get
That's
to where you
right.
want to be in life. John, it's always a pleasure catching up, man.
Yes, sir.